I want you to close your eyes for a second and just put yourself in a specific place.
Okay.
It's November 28th, 2017. You are standing in the hallway of a private hospital in Telangana, South India.
And the air conditioning is humming, but, it's not clearing the air.
Not at all. The air is thick. It's got that sharp, antiseptic smell.
Was there something else underneath it? Something, acrid, almost metallic.
The smell of burnt flesh.
Yeah, and the sound is just, it's pure chaos. You have nurses running, their shoes squeaking on the linoleum.
And outside an operating theater, there's a family, a wealthy family, huddled together, praying, sobbing.
It's just holding on for dear life. The panic is absolute.
Inside that theater is Dr. Sudhakar.
Yeah.
He's 32 years old, a successful physiotherapist, and he is fighting for every breath.
Because he's been the victim of a brutal acid attack, his face has been, well, it's been chemically obliterated.
And standing right there in the middle of all of this is his wife, Swathi. She's a nurse at this very hospital. She is hysterical.
Her white uniform is stained, and she's telling everyone the story about how she found him on a dark road, just groaning in agony, his face melting.
It is a scene of utter devastation. A beloved doctor, senselessly attacked.
But here's where it gets strange. I need you to brace yourself for this. Fast forward just 1 week. The police are back at that hospital room.
And the vibe is completely different this time. They are not there to take a statement.
No, they're guarding the door.
Because they are there to arrest the victim.
Right.
The man in that bed, covered in bandages, fighting for his life.
Wow.
He is not the victim of a random attack.
And this is the part that will make your blood run cold.
He isn't even Dr. Swatkar.
This is a case that it genuinely blurs the line between reality and the most twisted thriller you can imagine. We aren't just looking at a murder today.
We are looking at an identity theft so committed, so visceral, that it just defies belief. Infidelity, a cold-blooded execution, and a plastic surgery scheme gone horribly, tragically wrong.
Today on this deep dive, we are unpacking the case of the Telangana imposter.
And I have to ask, where do you even begin with a deception this deep?
We have to go back. To understand the how, we first have to understand the who. So let's rewind to 2014.
Okay, so paint the picture for us.
Oh.
Who was the real victim here? Who was Sudhakar Swatkar?
By all accounts, he was the golden child. He came from a wealthy merchant family, very comfortable.
But he wasn't just some rich kid.
Not at all. He was a grinder, a physiotherapist who worked tirelessly. He'd do a full shift at the government hospital, and then instead of going home, he'd go run his own private clinic in the evenings.
So completely laser-focused on his career.
Exactly. Serious, maybe a little introverted, but deeply ambitious. His family, of course, was thrilled with him.
And then Swathi enters the picture. She's a nurse at the same government hospital.
And she was impressive. She wasn't just a background character. The reports describe her as sharp, a quick learner, highly competent.
The kind of person who's always one step ahead.
Right. Swatkar notices this. He sees this intelligent, capable woman in his field, and he thinks, this is a match.
It makes sense on paper, doesn't it? The
Yeah.
doctor and the nurse.
A power couple in the making. He proposes, his family is over the moon, and they get married in 2014.
And for a while, it seemed to work.
It did. Swathi was actually inspired by his work ethic. She starts taking courses, trying to upskill. She gets caught up in his ambition.
But then, life gets complicated. A year later, 2015, they have a son. And that's where the drift begins.
It's a classic, sad dynamic. After the baby, Swati's world shrinks down to the child and the home.
But Swatkar's doesn't.
His world doesn't change at all. He's still at the hospital, then the clinic. He's effectively absent.
Emotionally and physically. He's described as distant. Not abusive or anything, just checked out.
Right. He comes home exhausted and just wants to be left alone. Meanwhile, Swathi feels like she's carrying the entire emotional weight of the family. She's lonely.
And that kind of loneliness in a marriage is a dangerous thing.
Of course. They argue. But to the outside world, they keep up appearances beautifully. Image of perfection.
Which brings us to 2016. Swatkar's private clinic is doing so well that he decides to leave the government hospital.
Right, a smart career move. But it means he is now physically separated from Swathi all day because she keeps her job at the hospital.
And that separation creates a vacuum, with the husband gone all day and mentally checked out when he's home.
The stage is set for a third person to enter. Or, re-enter.
Get into Rajesh.
Rajesh, a male nurse at the hospital. But he isn't a stranger. This is the first major twist. Rajesh and Swathi were lovers before she married the doctor.
The classic one that got away.
Or maybe the one she left behind for money. He was reportedly heartbroken when she married Swatkar. He felt she chose status over love.
And he's been carrying that resentment for years.
Exactly. So now, it's 2016. Swathi is walking the halls of the hospital looking miserable, and Rajesh sees his opening. He approaches her.
And he says what exactly?
He tells her he sees sadness in her eyes.
Wow. It's a bit of a cliche, but I guess it worked.
It's exactly what she needed to hear. When you feel invisible to your spouse, being seen by someone else is like a drug. They start talking.
And since her husband is at his clinic all day and studying all night, the house is empty.
It starts with phone calls, then meetings at the hospital, and pretty soon the affair is back on, full blown.
They probably thought they were safe.
Yeah.
That Swatkar was too obsessed with work to ever notice.
But indifference isn't blindness. Swatkar is a smart man. He starts to notice that Swati's not just unhappy anymore, she's indifferent to him. She stops fighting for his attention.
That's always the biggest red flag, isn't it, when they stop arguing?
It is. So he starts investigating his own wife. He spies on her at the hospital and sees the intimacy with Rajesh. He asks a friend, and the friend confirms it. Yeah, that's her ex-lover.
So the confrontation.
Yes. But Swatkar, to his credit, tries to save the marriage. He issues an ultimatum. He tells Swathi she has to quit her job.
He wants to cut the cord.
He says, I'll find you a new job somewhere else, far away from Rajesh.
Which, to a rational person, sounds like a fair boundary to set.
But to Swathi, it felt like a cage door slamming shut. She panicked. She felt controlled, like she was losing her only source of happiness.
So she agrees to his face, but internally.
She flips. She calls Rajesh, and that conversation spirals very, very quickly from, what do we do, to, we have to get rid of him.
This is the pivot. They decide to kill him. And they did have a plan A, right? A sort of standard, if brutal, plan.
They did. Plan A was to kill Swatkar, take his body into the forest, burn it completely, scatter the ashes, and then Swathi would just claim he vanished. A missing person case.
Horrific, but simple. But then, something happens in September 2017, 2 months before the murder, that changes everything.
This is the moment that sets this case apart. She's at work, reading a medical report about a patient undergoing facial reconstruction after a chemical burn.
And she has a eureka moment.
A dark, twisted epiphany. She's looking at this report, and she realizes something profound. Socially, we are our faces. If the face is disfigured, identity becomes fluid.
So she calls Rajesh with Plan B. And just walk us through the sheer audacity of this.
It's insane. Step 1, kill the husband. Step 2, disfigure Rajesh's face with chemicals.
Oh, wait, her lover's face.
Her lover's face. Step 3, Rajesh impersonates Swatkar in the hospital. Step 4, use the family's money to pay for plastic surgery. Step 5, Rajesh literally takes over Sawatkar's life.
He becomes the doctor. Gets the clinic, the money, the status.
It is the ultimate identity theft.
I have to stop you. Think about the manipulation required here. Swathi has to convince the man she supposedly adores to let her pour acid on his face. How do you even sell that pitch?
It's staggering, and Rajesh initially refused. I mean, obviously, who wouldn't? But Swathi was incredibly persuasive. She convinced him Plan A was too risky. A missing person case never really closes.
That's true. The police keep digging.
Exactly. But if the husband is alive and in the hospital, there's no crime to investigate. The police stop looking. She promised him that with plastic surgery, he'd eventually look enough like Swatkar to fool everyone.
It's a testament to either his obsession with her or his greed.
It's a mix of all of it. So the date is set, November 26, 2017.
Swatkar goes to his clinic. A normal day. But by 11:00 p.m., he stops answering his phone.
Because he was already dead. Swathi and Rajesh had executed part 1 of the plan. They took his body to the forest, burned it, and buried the ashes.
So now the impersonation was supposed to happen immediately. But Rajesh, he got cold feet.
And can you blame him? He's standing there, the adrenaline from the murder is wearing off, and now he has to volunteer to be mutilated. The reality of the pain set in.
It took Swathi 2 full days to convince him again. Imagine the tension in that house.
Finally, on November 28th, he breaks. He agrees.
This is the moment. She prepares the chemical agent. She stands over her lover, and she pours it on his face.
Erases Rajesh so he can be overwritten as Swatkar. The pain must have been unimaginable.
But once the deed is done, the performance begins. She rushes him to her own workplace, the hospital, screaming, "We were attacked! Someone threw acid!"
And at first, it works perfectly. He's bandaged, in critical condition, he can't speak clearly. The family arrives.
And Sawatkar's father, he just sees his son in pain.
He's relieved his son is alive. That's all that matters. He tells Swathi not to worry about money. He'll pay for everything.
So he's paying to treat his own son's killer. The irony is just heartbreaking.
It is. And Swati's playing the devoted wife, but her behavior is defensive. She's guarding the bedside, keeping the family away, insisting he needs absolute rest.
She's managing the flow of information because she knows that visually, under the bandages, he passes. But she underestimated the father.
This is the variable she didn't account for. You can burn a face, you can fake a chart, but you cannot mimic the soul of a person. 3 days pass, and the father starts noticing things.
What kind of things? I mean, under bandages, everyone looks the same?
It was subconscious, the body language, the way the man in the bed moved his hands. It just didn't feel like his son.
And the communication?
The son was avoiding it. It felt deliberate. The father felt that the silence was a wall, not a symptom of his injury.
It's that parental instinct. You just know. You know your child's presence.
Precisely. And Swati's frantic behavior was the other red flag. She was actively pushing family away, which is the opposite of what a grieving wife would do.
So a week later, the father does something incredibly brave. He calls the police.
He says, "I don't think the man in that bed is my son." Imagine the courage that took. To risk looking crazy.
The police arrive. They confront Swathi. Her composure starts to crack. But they need proof. They can't just arrest a burn victim based on a father's bad vibe.
So they go to the ultimate identifier, fingerprints.
And Dr. Swatkar, as a licensed medical professional, would have his prints on file.
That was the checkmate. They took the prints from the man in the bed, they ran them against the database.
And no match for Swatkar.
A perfect match for Rajesh, the male nurse.
The house of cards just disintegrates. Swathi is cornered. The evidence is irrefutable.
And she confesses. She lays it all out. The murder on the 26th, burning the body, the acid attack on the 28th. She explains the entire insane logic behind it.
It's pure delusion, the arrogance of believing you can outsmart the entire world just because you know how a hospital works.
It's a specific kind of narcissism. She treated everyone around her like characters in a game she could reprogram.
And what happened to them?
Justice was swift. Swathi was arrested immediately. Rajesh was arrested while still in his hospital bed, recovering from the burns he allowed to be inflicted on himself.
Right.
Both were sentenced to death.
It's a total tragedy. A brilliant doctor dead. A young child left without parents. And it's the father's intuition that's the real hero here. If he hadn't trusted his gut.
They might have gotten away with it.
Do you really think so? Long term?
That's the scary question. If he'd gotten the surgery and maybe claimed the attack caused personality changes from the trauma, he might have been able to fake it for a long time. People make excuses for trauma victims.
It really makes you think about identity.
Mm-hmm.
We rely so heavily on biometrics now, but it wasn't technology that first spotted the fake. It was just human connection.
Absolutely. Swathi understood that the face is our interface with the world. She tried to hack the interface, but she forgot that identity is also in the software. The memories, the habits. You can't transplant those.
It's a chilling thought to leave on. How easy is it to become someone else if you are willing to destroy who you were?
And if you are willing to destroy everyone around you to do it.
This has been a heavy one. We've unpacked the Telangana imposter case, a grim reminder that truth is often darker than fiction.
And that sometimes the mask we wear is literal.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. Stay safe, trust your gut, and we'll catch you on the next one.